Welcome to Stapleford Abbots Golf Club here in Romford, where the Greyhound Homer branch of the retired Greyhound Trust are hosting their 10th annual golf day. Led by Pat Philpott and her team, they're bidding to raise as much money as possible for our gorgeous greyhounds in need of their forever homes.
Today there are 60 players, which is nice. So lovely day for it. Everything going on well.
You couldn't have picked a better day. How much are you hoping to raise?
About £1,500, something like that. It depends on the raffle, the money that we make, that's above the golfers. So it'd be a brilliant day for them.
And that sort of money is really important for you, isn't it?
It is. It goes a lot towards paying for things in our kennels for our dogs, which is what we're concerned about.
How is homing going at the moment?
We're doing quite well. We're up to about 60 something at the moment. It's less than last year, but then I think people's finances this year are a lot worse. It's the price of vet bills and things like that that are stopping people homing dogs so much.
The retired Greyhound Trust is going through a bit of a revamp at the moment and a rename to the Greyhound Trust. What do you make of it all?
I'm totally against it, 100%. A lot of money wasted that could be going towards the dogs. End of.
And I think it's fair to say you know how difficult it is to raise money, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we go out every weekend, all summer and winter, raising money. I don't like to see it wasted.
Now, how's the golf going today? Your balls all staying straight from the tee?
Not quite. They're veering off the middle line a bit. They're heading a bit towards the rails, and the odd one's gone a bit wide. But we're doing our best to keep the middle on the ball at the moment. But only just started. Not started too badly though.
I've never seen one of those contraptions that picks the ball out of the water before.
Oh yes, that's much needed. That saves me a lot of money, that is. I normally pick at least a dozen balls up before the end of a round that's got any water on it, so it's probably the best bit of equipment I've got in my golf bag.
Of course, this time of year we're all so focused on the Derby, it's easy to forget the retired greyhounds and what needs to be done after they finish racing. How important is a day like today, do you think?
Well, of course, it's you get some fantastic people here, and everybody in the ground world is so generous. I was so pleased to do my little bit the other week, picking the 4 winners at Henlow for the accumulator, and when you raise those kind of money for the greyhounds, it makes you feel better all round. I'm sure everybody in the game, we love these greyhounds and they're well looked after, but we must always remember the retired ones and make sure they're well looked after in their retirement, and things like this help, because you always there's never enough money, is there? So if we can make some, then it's always better.
Well, you're pretty new to this golf game. How's it going today?
Not so good. Not as good as the dogs, but it's it's a great thing. You've got to do more of these sort of days, and everyone knows how important the retired Greyhound Trust is, and to get homes for all the retired dogs. So yeah.
We play in it every year. We do the prizes here to support Pat, because it's a great idea. Anything to do with retired greyhounds or Greyhound Homers is good news for the industry, and they always get about 60 players here, and we're very lucky with the weather today.
Yeah, I mean, we try and support them as much as we can. It is very important. We own quite a lot of dogs ourselves, and we use a couple of home finding places as well. It's really important. I mean, we've all got dogs ourselves at home as well, so it is important.
And they make lovely pets, don't they?
Yeah, I've got 2 of them. One's lovely and one's a bit hard work, but yeah, they are lovely. Yeah, I wouldn't swap them for anything. And it's like everything else. You're telling everyone already knows anyway, but once you've had one, you'd never have anything else.
And it's a win-win situation for you, isn't it? Because you get the day off work, you get to play golf and raise money for the retired Greyhound Trust.
Yeah, ain't a bad day. It's just a couple of people you have to play with. So, but apart from that, yeah, it's all right.
Dominic, are you a keen golfer?
Yeah, I'm a very keen golfer. Doesn't mean I'm that talented, but this is always a worthy day out for the RGT, and I'm very happy that BAG's been long-time supporters of this. And yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better day.
It is absolutely lovely. How important do you think it is to raise funds for the retired greyhounds? We're all into the Derby at the moment. How important is it to remember, what happens to them after racing?
Well, it's incredibly important, and obviously, with my BAG's hat on, there's the glamour of the Derby going on at this time of the year, but actually we're out there virtually 365 days a year racing, and it's all those races who you've got to think about every single day. So it's incredibly important.
If we put your businessman hat on, what do you think of the rebranding from Retired Greyhound Trust to Greyhound Trust?
Well, I think the people involved in that are the professionals who've taken advice on that. But from a personal point of view, I think Greyhound Trust sits very well, and it's a more accurate reflection of what they do. I know there's been some disquiet about cost of rebranding, but I'm sure they've looked at a long-term investment over the next 50 years, and I'm sure they'll see a return on that.
Jason, how's it going so far? Is it a good golf day or a bad golf day?
Neither, to be honest. There's good holes and bad holes, but yeah, playing steady. Yeah.
How important do you think it is that we remember about homing these dogs, especially this time of year?
Yeah, definitely. It's the most important part of our jobs. We all want to win races and we all want to win competitions, but at the end of the day, we all want homes for our dogs at the end of them. And if we can raise any amount of money we can to make it a bit easier, then obviously we'll do it.
I think everybody should champion the Retired Greyhound Trust. We need to raise as much money as possible for the dogs. We're making a spectacle of the Derby at the moment. We must also demonstrate we can look after them after racing.
Hopefully for the people watching this, there are not too many misconceptions about the breed left, but you've had greyhounds at home and with very young children. You've got another one on the way and another greyhound on the way.
Yeah.
They're good with children?
They're brilliant, they really are good. Callum's 18 months old now, and we had a greyhound at home with him since he was 6 months old. He'd crawl around the floor, go up to the greyhound, and they'd totally ignore him. And just lovely, absolutely brilliant pets with dogs. They're with children, they're lovely. They love the children love the dogs as well.
Would you ever have another breed of dog?
I have had other breeds, but greyhound will always be the first choice, just because they do make such great pets. They don't need lots of exercising like a lot of people think. They're just great friends. They like being on the couch, like cuddles and hugs all the time, so they do make great pets.
Welfare for greyhound racing is key. It's at the most vital stage ever in the history of the sport. Welfare is paramount, has to be paramount, and we've got to keep continuously working hard to make sure that every dog that's registered with the GBGB is given the opportunity to be found a home. That's the goal I think we're working to, I think the RGT are working to, and I think everybody in the sport should be working to, trainers and owners alike.
Is that day in sight?
I think it is. The numbers are narrowing year on year. It needs more money. It needs a lot more money being thrown at the problem, but it is achievable. It's very achievable.
And just finally, of course, the Retired Greyhound Trust undergoing a bit of a rebranding to become the Greyhound Trust. What do you think of that?
Greyhound Trust. I prefer Greyhound Trust. I think it's a much more catchy sort of title, but it's the RGT's decision to rebrand. I think people are questioning the cost at the moment. I think it may pay dividends in years to come. But short term, £100,000 to rebrand. Where dogs still need to be homed, still money to be spent, but I think long term it will pay dividends.